It's official, Sumeru is finally the next destination in Genshin Impact, and these are the top 5 new features coming with the 3.0 update. So let's start with the biggest feature, the new Sumeru region. From what was told during the livestream, there's going to be 2 very distinct environments here, a lush rainforest and a huge desert area. The developers only focused talking about the rainforest, so this could mean the desert area comes with the later update. However, the rainforest by itself seems very interesting. There's like these fungal areas, there's also a thing called the withering, which causes forest life to decay, and you can see these areas that are destroyed by it. But besides the map itself, we'll be getting Archon quests that will further be developed over the course of updates, all the way to 3.2, and I'm excited to see what type of Archon personality we'll be dealing with. Also, there's like a ton of new monsters that comes with this new region. Mainly there's 2 new bosses, which are going to be the Electro Regivine. The good old flower is coming with a new coat of paint, and I hope it will get its revenge for all those times I've taken out the other flowers when making my videos. Now, the other boss is really interesting. It's called Jade Plume Terror Shroom, and it has different strategies depending what element you use. For example, Pyro will cause a burning reaction on it, and it will try to extinguish it by deploying spores around the arena. Which, of course, brings me to the last part of this segment, the Dendro element. It will have 2 major reactions with Hydro and Electro, which will then have additional sub-reactions you can create. But I'll talk about this more in my future video, and for now, all I can say is that the combat is going to be very, very different when using the Dendro element. So, as always, there's a bunch of new events coming with this update, and I first want to focus on the biggest one, which will have 4 types of activities, all of which are focused around exploring the new region. So you'll be taking pictures of new enemies and plant life, doing some racing, fighting new bosses, and utilizing the Dendro reactions. Now, the coolest thing about this major event is that you'll be able to obtain a free copy of Kali, the new 4-star Dendro character, which in my opinion seems like a really good way to start this update. But looking at some smaller events, the first one in the list is called Phase Trials. This is a combat challenge where you can use trial teams to beat enemies and take pictures of their weak points, which seems like an interesting way to go about this combat trial. There's also another combat trial called Tablet Analytics, which seems interesting in its own, but other than that, what I'm excited about is the return of the Lost Riches event. Now, this is an event we've had a couple of times before, and the main reward is a Sealy companion you obtain. I already have 2 of them, so getting a 3rd one is super exciting to me. Maybe in a couple of years we'll be able to finish the whole Sealy collection. Finally, there will also be a Leyline Overflow event, so you can have an easier time obtaining materials to level up the new characters. Now, when it comes to new equipment, we will be getting 5 new craftable weapons. No official information yet what they do and how to obtain them, so there's only a single image to let us know that we're getting some new free-to-play options in the game. We're also getting 2 new artifact sets, which I'm excited to talk about. The first one is Gilded Dreams, which might seem complex at first, but it's really simple. The 2-set bonus gives 80 elemental mastery, and after causing a reaction, the 4-set will provide 50 EM for each member who does not match the equipped character's element, or increase attack by 14% if they match the element. So as an example, if Ganyu has this set and her team is Benny, Xiangling, and Zhongli, she would get a total of 150 EM after she causes a reaction, because all her teammates are not from Cryo Element. Other example could be Ganyu, Shenhe, Benny, and Xiangling. Now Shenhe is matching Ganyu's element, so she gains a total of 100 EM and 14% attack from the 4-set. Now I promise this next one called Deepwood Memories is easier to understand, because it's a set made for Dendro characters. Equipping the 2 pieces gives the usual 15% Dendro elemental damage increase, while a 4-set is very similar to Verdes and Venrir, except here you will reduce the enemy's resistance of Dendro by 30% by using the character's skill or burst. I can already tell you that this new domain is going to destroy my fragile resin, just so I could obtain a few decent artifact pieces. You and I both know this wouldn't be a proper update announcement if we didn't get to learn more about the newest upcoming characters. And just like all of us expected, the newest 3.0 Sumeru update will be launching together with Tignari, Kali, and Dori. Now, the first character is the fluffy-eared 5-star Dendro character Tignari. I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but either way, this is going to be our first Dendro 5-star and he is a bow user. And it seems like his charge attack works in a similar way to Ganyu's, where if you hold it long enough, he will release a special arrow that explodes and releases 4 seeking arrows. I think this guy is going with quantity over quality, and we can probably expect those arrows to have low damage multipliers. But we'll need to wait until his official release to confirm how how good the damage is from his charge attack. Now his skill is pretty simple. Deal damage and leave a field behind which will taunt the enemies. So you can pull 1 or 2 charge shots while they are busy dealing with the skill. But in addition to this, after using the skill, it will also decrease the charging time of the next 3 charge shots. The burst, on the other hand, is very similar to his charge attack. He will immediately first release 6 missiles at his targets, and after hitting them, 6 more missiles come out and deal damage. So basically, this burst kind of looks similar to Ningguang's. Although I will say that unloading 12 missiles is something I look forward to, and I want to see what kind of fun builds I can go for. But what's funny about this update is that Kale is a 4-star character that's also a Dendro bow user. Now, she doesn't have anything special to do with her normal or charge attacks, however, her skill does look pretty cool. She throws out this boomerang that will deal damage, and when it comes back, it again damages anyone in its path. And when looking at her burst, she throws her cute companion on the ground, who will bounce around and attack anyone in its zone. I honestly don't get how Hoyoverse always manages to create the most cutest companions. Anyway, Kale from the looks of it seems to have a simple playstyle, which I guess kinda makes sense since a lot of people are going to obtain her. But the big question is, how good is she going to be as one of the first Dendro characters in the game? Well, we will find out soon enough, I guess. Finally, there's Dory, who is a 4-star Electro Claymore healer, and if her healing scales with maximum health, it's possible the Bell will finally get to have its redemption arc. Now, looking at her talents, the skill is really simple. Deal elemental damage, then it splits off into 2 more shots, so you can deliver a total of 3 electro attacks. But while the skill is simple, the burst is actually a really cool companion genie she summons, who will attach to the active character, and from what I understand, it continuously heals and restores active character's energy. You can also damage enemies if the connector between active character and genie touches them, so this may be a useful way to apply electro. Regardless, I am super excited to finally see a Claymore healer, and I can't wait to see what kind of potential she has. But let's talk about the banners quickly. Tignari, Zhongli, and Koli are going to be in the first phase of the update, and although they haven't specifically mentioned it, I'm assuming the signature 5-star bow will be also in the first phase. Now, in the second phase, Ganyu and Kokomi's double banners will be featured, where you'll also be able to obtain Dory. However, the most shocking detail about these banners is that Tignari will be added into the standard banner after 3.1 update. That's pretty insane if you ask me, and what this basically means is that he will also now show up in your future featured banners if you lose the 50-50 chance of obtaining the featured character. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I'll talk about it more in my future video, but regardless, Tignari is going to become a standard 5-star. Now, finally, for some awesome quality of life changes, all the artifacts that were in the game before 1.2 update will be added to the Artifact Strongbox exchange. And this is absolutely game-changing in so many ways that it might just make me want to build some characters I haven't used before because their domains were so resin inefficient. There's also a couple of new gadgets. One lets you collect wood from the trees by just using it, so you don't have to weigh around the character's basic attacks. The next one lets you catch fish way more easier by adding a big stabilizer area. And finally, you can now finish processing food faster by using the ores, which I'm not sure who needs it, but at least we now have this as an option, I guess. But to quickly summarize, the new Sumeru region comes packed with a lot of monsters, features the Dendro element, and we will most likely spend the majority of time exploring the rainforest region. Now, when it comes to events, the biggest one that comes to mind is Graven Innocence, where you'll be able to obtain Kali, the new 4-star Dendro character. Also, 5 new prototype weapons and 2 new artifact sets will be added into the game. And finally, when it comes to featured banners, the first phase will have the double banners of Tignari and Zhongli along with Kali, while the second phase will have Ganyu, Kokomi, and Dory. Most importantly, we were given a schedule of the next few upcoming updates, and it seems like the dates have been shortened, which means 3.0, for example, will only last 35 days instead of the usual 42 days. So this means the featured banners will also last shorter, but that's pretty much it, I guess. It's probably fair to say that this is the update everyone's been waiting for since Sumeru got mentioned in the story, and with so many new activities coming, not to mention a new zone that you get to explore, this is looking to be the next big break for Genshin. But as always, Hoyoverse remains secretive enough not to reveal everything they've had up their sleeve, so you can expect to see even more exciting things to come once the update arrives. But if you enjoyed the video, you can help out my channel by subscribing to it, and I'd appreciate it if you could leave a like on the video. Oh, and don't forget to check out my comment for the free Primo Gems before they expire. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you soon.